Every time I go into making a video with the intention of making a video and posting to YouTube, I get hella nervous. So we gonna work through this nervousness and make this video. Ooh, that felt good. So I wanted to get on here. I got some like guidelines of different things I want to talk about, but the point of this channel is to be unscripted and vulnerable. That's the only word I can use to describe.
One moment.
I didn't ask.
Sorry, I'm having trouble.
I didn't ask. The point is to be that, right? Oh, let me get this to go away. Right, the point is to be that. So I'm not going to try to force words or concepts. I noticed that I would try to do that, and that's why I don't be posting consistently, because I'll go into like, okay, I'll make a video for my YouTube, and then it'll just be hella like no thoughts, and I'm like, this is not how I want it to go. So I'm gonna just go down the list of different points that I want to hit on. Today is a 5-day, and that's the day of changing things and how we think. So yesterday I made a video, and it was kind of like some heavy feelings, and I expressed them. But as the day went on, yesterday was a 4-day, so it was about structure, and it was about like just thinking about how it is I want to change. Because I woke up feeling like the way I'm moving isn't in alignment with how I was, because I can feel it. I can feel when I move out of alignment. So today, it's about adopting what I thought about yesterday. And what I thought about yesterday is like going back to my own routine. For more specific, my auntie had wanted me to catch an Uber to work because it was raining. But I had told myself, don't get too comfortable with relying on the Uber that she's offering. Unfortunately, with the people in my life, and just like me, when I'm offered something, I tend to put it into my routine, and then I start to use it too much, and then people start to feel a certain way. So I just want to eliminate that period and use it for that 1 time, 2 times, and just be done with it. I'm like, okay, I'm going back to my routine. Because my route to work, I have to get up hella early, get on a bus and a shuttle to get to work. And it's just more convenient to catch an Uber, and I can sleep in. But I was noticing that, like, I was off. And it could have been a number of other things. Like we just had a full moon. We just had a bunch of other things, like in the sky, in the stars, in the cosmos. But just for me personally, I noticed like I'm doing that thing I said I wasn't gonna do. And that's what I was talking about yesterday, leaning into comfortability. And I need to stay not rigid, but I need to stay on my like routine that I had. Because in the morning when I'm walking to the bus and when I'm on the bus, I'm just thinking, and it's like it's a way to clear my head. And with me being like uncomfortable, I'm more productive. I'm just more in my body, if that makes sense. Like with the Uber, when I was getting to work, with the Ubers I was getting to work, it was I was just hella sluggish. I was hella sleepy. I wasn't going to bed on time because I'm like, oh, I have an hour. I could sleep in an hour. I was sleeping in. I was rushing. I was like waking up not too long after that I needed to call the Uber. And it was just, I was just fucking up my routine, fucking up my flow. And so I was like, okay, I need to get back on what I was doing before I was offered the Uber. And that's what 5 days is all about. Is that. And then also some other things I had wanted to change was like, I'm trying to get more comfortable public speaking and speaking even when interrupted. That was another big thing of why I didn't really make videos, is because whenever I would speak, something would come and like knock me off my frequency or knock me off like my train of thought. And like it felt like a hijack. So I'm learning how to just speak even when I see interruptions, feel interruptions, and hold on to that train of thought. And so today I want to implement that by actually intentionally making a video. Even if I get interrupted, even if like my thoughts start to drift off, like just try my best to stay present with what I'm doing and doing it while scared. And I'm also changing how I think, because yesterday, like I said on the video, I had, and I'm gonna touch on that some more as I move through the points, but I had said I feel, a keyword feel, pretty pathetic. And my feelings never stay the same for too long. Like I'm usually able to turn myself back around pretty quickly, and that's what I did. And today I'm thinking more highly of myself and ways I can like utilize that energy, because I'm not just gonna shun it and be like, we're not gonna think like that and not do nothing with that energy. I'm like, okay, I felt like that, I acknowledge that I feel like that, felt like that, and so now today it's different, and I'm not going to ruminate on how I felt and how I went about feeling how I felt. Today I feel more, what's the word I can use? I feel more eager to do something different. Like I feel more confident to move differently and not stay in that headspace I was in yesterday. Second point is, it's nothing to start over again. And it's not. Somebody like me, I'm a person who will start over every day if I have to. And I've done it before. I used to get real frustrated at that, but now I see it as something that's a necessity. I don't like to overlook. What was about to come out of my mouth is not true. Sometimes I do overlook details, but when it comes to something like, oh, look at the cat. When it comes to something like staying in alignment, I don't like to overlook details. And if I need to scrap the whole thing and start back over, I know what works. So it'll be easy to go boom, 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 boom. And then once I get to the point that wasn't working, I'm able to see how that thing wasn't working and what else I need to implement. So starting over isn't hard for me, because I can build myself up back pretty quick because I have a strong foundation. And I can do that when like when I just feel pretty lost. I'm like, all right, let's just scrap this whole thing, start over tomorrow. What are things I know that work for me? And like I was just saying, and all these points kind of go into each other as well. Like I was saying with the previous points, I'm able to, with the Ubers and stuff, I know that the routine that I set for myself, waking up at 5:30, leaving the house by 6:15, 6:20, walking my route to the bus, getting on the shuttle, that routine in itself is a centerpiece for me. I consider myself, because it's familiar. It's something I know that will happen technically, and I will get to work on time, and things just flow better when I have a centerpiece, and that is my centerpiece. And when I'm not utilizing my centerpiece, I notice days like yesterday happen. Although it was although it was a new moon, new moon in a very potent energy, that potent energy within itself was highlighting things I need to do different, and things we as a collective need to do different, and highlighting hidden habits, highlighting hidden things, highlighting hidden anything. And so, yeah, it's not bad to start all over again. And even with this channel, I've started over so many times with this channel. I have a video called I Give Up. And from that video, I've started over so many times, because I'm like, okay, that's not working. I need a new path. Okay, that's not working. I need to do something different. This way is making me feel like I'm not aligned, and I'm not like, it's making me feel lost. So I'm gonna go back to what I know real quick, build off the top of that. And even with this page, even with this page, and this kind of flows into my next point, even with this page is unscripted, uncensored, and like unorthodox. There is no script that I follow. Like, I'm giving my life a real time at when I record to want to see myself grow, have checkpoints for myself, but also if anyone is watching and they resonate in any way, and like anything I say or any examples from my life that I give can help, it helps. And like, that's really the goal. And so y'all probably gonna see me start over so many times, and like, I just want to put out there that there's nothing wrong with starting over. And also say to myself, my subconscious, it's nothing wrong with starting over. Shit, every cycle I feel like I'm starting over in some way. I learned something and apply that to my life and move different, even if it's little step by step. And one of the points on here is like, I read my chart a lot. Every time I read it, I find something different. A lot astrological chart. I find something different every time I read it. And I notice one of my placements, my houses, is my Mars is in Taurus in my second house. And with Mars and Taurus energy, slow and steady is like the motto. And that's something I've seen over and over again, reading different articles about this placement. And I've noticed that translate into my real life because what I just said, but also like this is me. This is me. I have to analyze every single detail, and if I don't like it, scrap it. We're doing that again. And I'm gonna keep doing it until I like how it looks. Moving on. I have an understanding of this. Oh, I skipped a point. Just because I feel something doesn't mean I am. And that takes me back. I wanted to like kind of talk on my video yesterday, because I know when I say I feel pathetic, that comes off like I think I am pathetic, and it's not the case at all. I have gotten to a point where I can allow myself to feel exactly how it is I feel, no matter how heavy it is, or like how low the feeling makes me feel, because like I said earlier, I know how to turn myself back around pretty quickly, and I know that these are temporary. My feelings are temporary, and they are pretty fleeting, and that can be a good or bad thing. It could be, and it's not a good or bad thing. It just is. But with the good or bad emotions, they are fleeting, and whenever I let myself feel whatever it is I'm feeling, and I mean feel it. So I'll come up and say, like, I feel pretty pathetic today. My mom was like, you shouldn't say that about yourself, blah, 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 blah. But my other side of me is like, no, we need to feel this because there's something within this that we need to gain from feeling this, or else we wouldn't be feeling this. And it was. I had realized the shit I was doing was not, and I don't want to keep reusing the same words, but just in alignment with me. It wasn't to my best benefit. I already had said, I'm keep using this example because this was the prominent one. I already had said I didn't want to lean into the comfortability, and I leaned into the comfortability. Does that make me a pathetic person? No. I just felt that feeling at that time. After I had made that video, and I had said on the video about like the painting and stuff, and I had realized what I needed to realize for making that decision of painting that picture how I painted it, I did start to feel better. And I'm just like, all right, I don't have to like be perfect to move on. And then I just moved on. And once I got home, like, I just felt better after that point in the day. And then once I woke up again, I did my routine. I got up at 5:30, left the house at 6:15. And today just seems to be an overall better day. And my next point, I have an understanding of this and I allow myself to express what it is I feel, no matter the heaviness or perceived judgment of me being insecure. I know I'm not insecure. I'm aware of how I sound and what I say. It needs to come out. It needs to be heard. And that just ties into what I just said. Because I know I'm not insecure. I know what I say might be like, are you okay? But I know who I am. And I know that me feeling a certain way, me expressing that feeling, especially to like people who may not express their feelings the way I express mine, it can come off that way. I'm always looking at myself in a third person point of view, and I'm always analyzing myself how I would analyze a separate person from me, and I view myself as a separate person from me, simultaneously being in first person of myself. It's complex. So I'm always like, how does this sound to an outside view? And that's not something I can just be like, well, you need to stop doing that. Can it be unhealthy at times? Yeah, but also it can be helpful. So I analyze myself in this way, and I say the things I say because backtrack. I analyze myself this way, and I be saying the things I say about myself in this way because I look at myself sometimes as a separate person. And so sometimes the shit I say can be coming off as if I'm insecure, and we're working on that maybe a little bit. However, my feelings deserve to be expressed without the judgment shit coming from myself that I'm insecure or that I'm wrong for feeling this way or anything like that. Because even in my head, as I was saying what I was saying on the video, I was like, I shouldn't be feeling this way. But there is no should or shouldn't, unless we're talking about mortality. But that's not even, see my brain, that's not even the topic of discussion right now. It's like I'm having an internal conversation and then I'm speaking out loud as well. What was I saying? I just got thrown off by myself. But yeah, perceived judgments. The perceived judgments is coming from myself. That internal dialogue that I was talking about. Yeah. And so sometimes I be trying to prove to them in my head that like I'm worthy or like to not judge me. And so I feel like when I be kind of over and explaining this, that's who I'm talking to. But nevertheless, my feelings deserve to be heard. I'm going to keep expressing them exactly how they come up. I'm going to adjust myself so I can turn myself back around. And if I decide to put that on YouTube, that's just what I decide to do. Because this page is about alchemy. This page is about constantly evolving. This page is about being vulnerable. This page is about just shifting and like allowing myself to be however it is I come up. And my next point is kind of ties into each other. I change so much and so rapidly. I don't worry about staying in a low emotion for too long. I'm not scared to fully feel and express said emotion or any emotion. That's kind of self-explanatory. I do, like I just said, I change so much. I change every 5 minutes, if you want to be like real. Every moment, to be honest. After I make this video, I might be feeling something else, on to the next. And so with any low emotion, like I just said, I'm going to express it fully because I know that it's not going to stay. I know that I'm not going to let that stay on my brain to manifest an unfavorable outcome like outside of me. When I was younger, I used to have that ruminating in my brain for days on end, and I'll just be in some fucked up ass predicaments because that's how I truly felt about myself. My thoughts made me feel like I am. And I mean, to a certain degree that's true, but the way that my thoughts were set up, they were very harsh towards me, and so I thought I was. And so now that I don't do that anymore, I can feel it and move on. I've developed that skill. Okay, moving on. Things will change for me because I'm constantly in motion and it's inevitable. Self-explanatory. Change is inevitable. And I've learned to stop being so scared of change. And so that's why I can just feel said emotions. Starting over and paying attention to each detail allows me to see what doesn't work from the root, and that gives me an advantage. Like I was saying earlier, this small building block, these small stairs, I can see exactly when something isn't working, and that's why I'm not scared to swipe the whole plate clean. And I can, and then right at that point where it wasn't working, change that link, and I can keep moving forward. I had already went over that. I give myself permission to not worry. And this kind of ties into 5 day, with 5 day being changed. At the end of last night, before I drift off to sleep, I was feeling so stressed, and I was like, I give myself permission to not stress about nothing. And I've done this practice before, and it's worked out for me, but sometimes I just get caught up in life that I find myself stressing, and I didn't even know I was. But yeah, last night with the structure, being the structure day, I was like, I'm not going to worry about anything. And I don't really care how that makes me look. If that makes me look aloof, so what? I'm not really worried about, they don't know what I got going on. And today I'm just like, whatever happens, but that's not going to change the standing I have with myself, and that's not going to change the energy I want to be in constantly. I want to be in a constant state of just content and peace and just unmovable from that. So like, say if I did miss my bus on my way and they fucked up my routine. It's not so, my routine isn't so rigid to where there is no error for mistake. If I were to miss my bus, I'd have been like, hey, I guess we waiting on the next one. And just sit there until the next one came and not let that deter me from that energy that I want to be in constantly. I didn't miss my bus, but you get the gist of that. Or like, for example, when I was leaving the house today, I left a couple minutes late. Like I said, my routine isn't so rigid that there's no error for mistake. I'm not finna trip on that. Whereas in the past, I would have been like, no, I need to do it like this. It needs to be exactly like this. It needs to be exactly like this. Something about me is I am very, what's the word? An idealist? I think that's the word. But like, I need things to be the way I need it to be. And I'm working on letting shit be how it is and accepting that. But if it's something that I just don't resonate with, I just don't like, and that's just not for me, move on, but not try to change it into something that I need it to be. Be what I need to be for me, and allow what's outside of me to be what is. Because I know if I'm content in here, everything else outside of me will follow. And believe that to be true, and not let anything knock me off my square. So yeah, like, I keep using this example of like my routine in the morning because it's so energy filled. Like, it's not just a routine, it's a centerpiece. So everything, all these principles that I'm throwing out, all this energy, all these umbrellas of energy, it could be applied to this situation because the situation is a centerpiece. And so, as with my routine, I try to apply it like to the rest of my life. I have structure, but I don't make my structure so rigid to where there is no room for error. I know that I'm going to fuck up. I'm a human. I have accepted that I am a human. I used to separate myself from humanity and be like, I am not y'all. I am not a human. Like, I'm not from here. And to a certain degree, like, I still feel like that. I still feel like an alien. But I know that I'm a human. Like, look at me. There's no denying that. So, setting up my life, because I know that I can, like, whatever I want, literally it manifests, whether I do that on purpose or by accident. I know that this is a product of my mind, like everything that is outside of me. And as for everyone else too, everyone's life is a product of their mind, healthy or unhealthy. Where was I going with that? God damn it. Oh, so I try not to make my life too rigid to where, or anything that I do that anything else that's a centerpiece for me, I don't make that too rigid, because I know I'm gonna make silly mistakes. I know that I'm not perfect. I know that I'm gonna do shit that I'm be like, I fucked up. I probably shouldn't even did that. I know I'll throw myself off. I know. I just know I'll be a human. And so, yeah. Where was I at? I give myself permission not to worry. So I don't worry. And I'm not saying that like I never worry, but like I choose not to worry. And when I do start worrying, I catch myself and then I re-choose not to worry again. These videos are unscripted but mindful thoughts. Like I said at the beginning of this video, this page is unscripted. I do think when I started this channel, I did want to be scripted. I did want it to be perceived a certain way. I did want to come off a certain way. I did want to channel certain thoughts and give to the people. However, alchemy is constantly changing. That's what literally alchemy is constantly evolving. And so like I've grown to where that's not really what I want anymore. I just want to be, I do want to be vulnerable. I just want to be vulnerable, and I want to be myself, and I want to let out my unscripted thoughts mindfully to give to the world. And this is also going to help me with my public speaking, because I do want to become a public speaker one day. I do think my thoughts are useful. I do think my thoughts have some value. They have value to them. I just don't, at this time and place in my life, I am so socially awkward when it comes to speaking that this is going to help me get better. This is going to help me channel my thoughts in a way that are I think the word is congruent. This is just going to help me speak better and put my thoughts into a structured formation, to form a paragraph, to form an essay, to form a speech. And also I just like want to give people, how do I want to say this? I want to make other people feel that they can be vulnerable too and just talk. Talking is hard. I get nervous as hell. And let people know that it's okay to be real. It's okay to be raw. It's okay to be vulnerable. And no matter how my words come out, no matter how like all over the place I may seem, or just spacey, or any like insecurities I feel about myself, no matter what comes up, it's okay. And whoever resonates to you is going to find you or resonate to you, because you vibrating at that frequency anyway. And so other people who vibrating at that frequency, they're going to find you regardless of how you feel about yourself. I seen a post saying, this is kind of off topic, but I seen a post saying, I'm going to get whatever I want no matter what mood I'm in. And I thought that was so like, because I'm like, I used to think, oh, I need to be vibrating at a high frequency to attract what it is I want, because what I want is at a high frequency. And then my low moods would come and I'll get so discouraged and mad with myself, because I'm like, we let our emotions take over us again. when in reality, I'm an emotional person by nature. I don't know if anyone cares, but I really find this interesting. But I am a Pisces sun, Pisces rising, Scorpio moon, Pisces Venus, Pisces Lilith, and my, what's that called? My rising sun, is there another planet? And Venus are in my first house, and my moon is in my ninth house. That deals with like learning philosophy and all that shit. And so I find that shit so interesting. So if anybody likes to talk astrology, like, let's talk, because I find this so intriguing. And like just archetypes of energy on different people and how different people show up with this energy on them, and like how that, so interesting. But anyway, I just got off topic twice. Going back to the first off topic, when she was like, she was like I don't want to call it new age spirituality, but like some forms of spirituality teach you that you can only attract what you want if you're feeling good, if you're high vibrational. And she was like, Western something is profiting off your suffering. And like that shit hit me like a train, because I'm like, I I fell for that at some point. I thought I always needed to be up here, and I feel like we've all to some degree felt like we need to be up here constantly all the time, but that's not realistic for like a human. For a human that operates on the whole spectrum, it's not realistic to just operate on one side of the spectrum. You're going to be the yin and yang, you're going to be the light and dark, you're going to be everything you're going to be. And so when she said that I'm going to attract whatever I want no matter what mood I'm in, I said absolutely. And that helped me feel okay, like, for lack of better words, with my darker side, with my darker nature, with my darker human nature. Because I be getting pissed off, I be getting sad, I be feeling real low about myself, I be feeling a little bitchy sometimes. My attitude be on 10 sometimes. I be snarky. Like, all those things that are not perceived well, I be those things sometimes. But I know I also can be very light. I can be very, I help people. With my EBT card, ever since I got it, if I see somebody hungry, I'm like, what you need at the store? I got EBT. Like, whatever it is you need, you hungry? Random people. That does not bother me at all. Like, if anything, I be searching for who hungry. I ain't gonna lie. Or like, if I see somebody need help, I am willing to stop everything I'm doing to go help that person. Like, I was on my way one time to go get some pho, and there was this blind man. He was like, can somebody help me like get to where I need to go? Instantly, I'm like, I can help you. No, it's no thought behind helping people. So I know I can operate my highest nature, but also I'm aware of my low nature as well, and I don't shame myself for that no more. Back onto the main point. That's what this page is to help me document, is my whole spectrum of myself, and hopefully give people inspiration to operate their whole spectrum of themselves, and to know that you are valid, period. And through doing that, you are doing alchemy. You are constantly evolving, because thoughts, you're going to occupy new spaces every time you allow yourself to be. And this moves into my next point. It's getting a little hot up in here, we chatting. This moves into my next point. This page is to document my growth and hopefully help others with challenges that come with life. Yeah, that's everything I just said. Another astrological point that I find interesting, my Saturn is in Gemini in my third house, and that third house deals with communication. It deals with other things as well, but the first thing came to mind is communication. And with Gemini, those are chatterboxes. That's the communication sign. And with Saturn, deals with challenges, deals with discipline, deals with overcoming challenges. And Saturn is a real, it's a little harsh planet, I ain't gonna lie. And then also with the aspects, Saturn squares my sun. I think I have a lot of squares in my chart. I think I have more squares than anything, but I have to recount. I know I have a lot of squares. But I do know Saturn squares my sun. And with that, it clashes, it challenges. So with the sun being the identity, it challenged my identity. With Saturn being in my third house with Gemini, it challenged my communication. So with that, I have to be very, like, from videos I've seen from people describing these aspects, placements, and houses, I have to be real mindful of my thoughts and how I say things. That's why I'm real articulate with how I say things, how I pronunciate things, and just how I want things to be. And with the communication, it does align with my identity, because I want my thoughts to be perceived the way I am saying them and exactly how I meant it to be, because I attach what I say to who I am and what I mean and just how I like. All this is like tied together. And so with this page, absolute alchemy, I'm a very abstract person. Like I just said, I change all the time. I'm very like, from afar I look like one thing, but up close I look like another. Like it's very, for lack of better words, elusive. I just want to document this, one, for myself, but two, just to document, to help me talk better, to help me get out my thoughts to whoever is watching. But also, if somebody else is dealing with similar problems, it's kind of like Reddit. When you search a problem and somebody's having the exact same problem, you're like, yes, thank you. And they have a solution to what you're talking, to this very niche, unique problem that you're having. I want to be that. I want to be that for other people and help people through challenges that they may feel like they're only going through. And I brought up Saturn and like the things it squares and what the challenges I'm dealing with, because obviously I have this placement for a reason. Another video I was watching, it was like, these people who have their Saturn squared sun, they're here to help people through challenges. They're meant to go through challenges to help people with said challenges, help them get through it better. At first I was a little salty about this. I'm like, why do I have to be this person? But now, as I'm like, real time, as I'm talking, as I'm watching videos, learning about more about this placement, I mean, I already like to help people. So if I can help somebody with a niche kind of thing, if I can help somebody with like somebody who's maybe lived a similar life, or somebody who has similar thoughts, somebody who has similar just an outlook on life, somebody who deals with very particular problems that they think they're only going through, be that voice of reason for you, be that guiding light, and just be somebody who be like, I get it. Like, on a for real level, I get it. This is what I did. This is how I look at it. If this resonates with you, maybe this could work for you. And just through personal experiences, and I can only help people I don't know through my own personal experiences. So I'm gonna keep sharing my own personal experiences, so you can be like, that I was thinking the same thing, or I went through something familiar. To help. You know, I just want to help through my own personal. I'm telling you, I fuck around and find out. Wait, let me backtrack. If me fucking around, I know what I want to say, I don't know how I want to say it. I'm gonna continue to keep fucking around and finding out, because that's just how my life is set up. If that can help somebody, great. That's not how I want to say it, but I can't think of it. Whatever. Reading and studying on my personal chart, planets and houses, are very helpful when navigating myself. I've been talking about this throughout the whole video, but I encourage people to go look at astrology from a non-biased standpoint. From a standpoint of looking at it not as like, oh, my sun signed this and that's why I do this, but look Look at what the houses mean. Look at what planets are in your houses. Look at the signs that are in the houses. Look what signs are associated to the planets that are in your houses. Look at what sign your houses are in. Look at your aspects. Do you have a lot of squares where it's challenging? Do you have a lot of aspects where it's harmonizing? Do you have a lot of aspects that to where it's because there's like 4 different aspects, but 2 of them are like harmonizing and 2 of them are like challenging, but I can't think of the word right now. And like what is aspecting with what, and like in the degrees, I would like to get into that. I'm not that far just yet. I just got familiar with the houses, and next step is the degrees, because those mean something too. Everything in the charts means something, but just that will help you understand your own energy, and thus when you understand your own energy, you'll understand why other people do what they do. It's a reason why all the air signs act a certain way. It's all reason why all the water signs act a certain way, all the earth signs be acting a certain way, all the fire signs acting a certain way. And don't be scared to watch videos. I'm constantly watching videos, sometimes different perspectives on the same subject. And like they all give me something, and I kind of take something from all those videos, put it all together, put my thoughts onto it, and then I formulate my own opinion about it. And like, shit just mind-blowing, bro. It's like it's helped me feel less guilty for being myself. And like with a Pisces, bro, sometimes it is hard to find what's myself, because we're so like everything. If you know, you know. And so yeah, I encourage, like with this page, it's gonna be a lot of like astrology, numerology. I mean, you already know about the numerology. I'm in numerology, because like just archetypes of energy. This domain, and I call the world a domain because it is a domain. It's an algorithm of energy. You keep seeing the same patterns for a reason. You keep this whole like 1 through 9 system I have is a pattern for a reason. Each number has its own umbrella of energy that can give you a number of situations, but all those situations fall under that umbrella of energy when dealing with whatever number you have for the day, for the year, for the month, for the decade, like for the time. Like it's just a numbers game when you're dealing with this domain. Number and energy game. Okay. I walked through this life unscripted. We got 3 more points after this one. I walked through this life unscripted. The 4th wall has been gone. As like you can tell from just me talking to you, it's the veil is lifted. I always say I still participate in this matrix because it's a bit entertaining. And what am I gonna do? Be a rock? I can't. I have to participate to some degree. But man, when I communicate to the ether, when I'm communicating the ether, everything is just you. Like you have levels to you, and 9 levels of consciousness, with 9 being your higher self. Your higher self came here to experience itself in a different form. But even stepping further from that, a point further from that, this is all one energy, oneness, one love. Like all of this goes back to one, and a lot of people call it God. God and universe, I think it's interchangeable. It's all one energy. I believe that one energy broke itself apart to experience itself in a multitude of different perspectives. And everything here, like this car, is to some degree consciousness experiences itself in the perspective of a car. I am a human consciousness experiencing myself through the perspective of a human being, of a girl. During this time, I was born in 2002. So during this time, during this era, the plants are consciousness experiencing itself through the perspective of a plant. Like, it can go on and on and on. You can apply this to anything. Everything is the same thing, broken down, broken apart to experience this itself from different perspectives. And that's what I mean by the fourth wall is gone. I can see that. I can recognize that. I can understand that. And the fourth wall is gone. It's gone. And so sometimes when speaking, like making small talk, it be hard because I'm like, not that this shit don't matter, but it's like, how do I talk about small shit? Because I don't talk about small shit on my daily basis. Like, if anything, it's very understimulating to talk about small shit. And like, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, it keep me a little isolated, and I do come off antisocial sometimes. I really try not to. I really try to be bubbly. But once that, like, because I have a people persona, and then I have myself. And so when that people persona runs its course, I don't be really knowing how to interact, because I'm like, I've ran out of NPC language. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't know what to say. I'm gonna start talking about the cosmos in a minute. If I can't meet you where you at because you don't know where you at, or like you trying to meet me where I'm at and we're just trying to meet each other where we're at, I'm gonna start talking about the cosmos. But like, also, I don't be want to dive deep into that off rip, because everybody is not where I'm at. Everybody is not like, I don't want to talk just for the sake of talking. That's another thing. I don't be talking for the sake of talking. And so if I talk to you, you're not saying nothing back, and you're just listening to me talk, it's not a dance, it's not a conversation, I'm not gonna want to talk. And so it's hard talking when I'm not talking, when the fourth wall isn't blocking me from like experiencing. So the fourth wall is gone, and I do talk as if the fourth wall is gone, because I kind of can see the unseen. Now, there is levels to this unseen shit. It's probably some shit. It's most likely some shit that I still can't see. However, the fourth wall is gone. Okay. Sometimes I speak on things as if I don't know, or if I'm just learning, but I know that information very well. I just haven't embodied it. So when I finally do that, or when I finally have a realization, it looks like I'm learning a new concept for the first time, when I'm already know. I'm just stunned at the accuracy of it. So, for example, yesterday, and I hate when I do this, because it comes off, I do have a tendency to play dumb sometimes. I do come off sometimes as if like I'm just now receiving some mind-blowing information that's very mundane, but no. And like, it's hard to explain that, because I know things, and I don't even want to come off as anyway, yesterday I was saying like, everything as so within, so without, and everything is talking to you. And I only thought, like, for a second, I only thought for a minute that people, I just said the same thing twice. I only thought it was like people can reflect that. Y'all, I know that everything is a reflection of you. And when I say everything, I mean everything. Shit, the way that you drive in a car one day, you could be driving it differently, and a realization just hits you like, damn, something. Whatever that realization may be. However, the state I was in, I was really only looking at people from that lens. And like, sometimes I be forgetting the mundane shit can do that too. And so when it hit me, it hit my nervous system. Like, I really embodied that, because I'm like, it's not always just people. But I be so like wowed out by the embodiment of it. Like, it really hit me on that level that it comes off as if I'm just now learning that information for the first time. And when I would go back and rewatch my videos, I'm like, that other side of me, people gonna think that I'm dumb. People gonna think that I didn't know this already. I don't like that. But I just want to throw that in there. And that I do that for a lot of things too. And like, I'm learning how to, again, articulate myself in a way to, one, not show off my intelligence, but to show that I am competent of the things that I'm talking about, and two, say exactly what I mean. It's just sometimes, like I said, I only be thinking about, I don't need to repeat myself. I embodied it right there, real time. Yeah. Whatever, yeah. Just know, I be knowing. I be knowing. All right, I see the window. Okay, this was actually a pretty important one. This is my last one. I see the window of taking advantage of stuff and people and how easy it is. I don't even want to do it. I don't feel good afterwards. I don't feel right. So, couple things that's been happening in my life lately. Like when my auntie offered me to catch Ubers to work because it was raining, I saw the window of how I started to just rely on the Ubers getting me everywhere, and not for that specific time, for that specific reason. Like, if it's raining outside, okay, that's one thing. But I was just like, okay, I'm ready to go home now. I'm catch Uber. Okay, I want to go here, and I don't feel like waiting for the bus. I'm catching Uber. Like, I see how easy it is for me to manipulate shit. And in the past, I exploited the hell out of that. Because I'm like, well, you was on my tail about me catching an Uber, so I'm about to just catch an Uber. But I have kind of, I don't want to say I have heavy Saturn placements, but I have heavy enough to where Saturn will do something, and it might not just be Saturn, but something will happen internally that will make me realize what I'm doing, make me feel pretty shitty about it, and then make me clean up my act. Where it's like, Lamaya, you know that this ain't right. And like, it's like that day, like, you know damn well you ain't supposed to be doing that. Or like I had a friendship to where it wasn't nothing wrong with the friendship. It was just a bit understimulating in a way to where it's like we weren't really doing much of talking, but they were very generous to me. And so my mind, and I'm not saying I did this, but the thoughts came up where it was like, well, if I ever need a favor, I'll call them. Or like, well, subconsciously, I was debating it if I wanted to end the friendship or keep them around, but only keeping them around, not only, but like keeping them around because they were easily accessible. And I'm like, again, that voice, you know damn well that is not right. People used to do that shit to you, and you don't like how that felt. You don't need to be doing that to other people. I know, y'all, I felt so shitty. I'm like, that's where that pathetic feeling was coming from, where I was like, I know that this is wrong. I know. But it's like, it was so easily, it was right there. It was easily exploitable, bro. That window was wide open for me to come through. But just who I am, and just like, I don't even want to do that to nobody. I don't feel good after doing it. I don't feel good realizing that that's what I'm doing. And so that's where this 5 days coming in at. 4-day, I realized what I was doing. And like, I knew what I was doing. Here go that thing where I was like, I feel like I'm just now realizing something like obvious. I knew what I was doing. It was the embodiment of it. I'm like, cause it's, with my mind, it's a constant back and forth of like, it's like a constant debate in my head. Both sides be having valid points, but ultimately I have to choose a side of what I'm going to do. So when the 4-day came around, I had to choose of what it is I'm going to do. And that's, I'm not going to exploit that loophole. I'm not going to exploit that because it's easy, because it's there. I'm finna go the way I know to be. And I'm not trying to be too self-righteous, but I just know that's not what I want to do. And that's not my intention, so I'm not going to do it. And 5 days coming around where it's like, now I'm implementing this change. I'm setting the standard. I'm setting the record straight. with myself internally. We're not doing that. And so I want to say something. Damn it, I lost the train of thought. I stopped the clock at 5505, and it's a 5-day. This is what I'm talking about, the synchronicities. That's how I know that I'm like in communication with myself, when the synchronicities are in communication with me. This numerology should go deep. This communication with yourself, it go deep. But I still didn't even figure out what it was I wanted to say. But that I probably will think about it after I'm done recording and watch. But and then tomorrow, and then like you remember early in the video where I was like, each number has a principle associated to it, and it's an umbrella, and then a number of situations can come about. This is just where I'm at with myself, with my life, with my time, and just with the situations in my life. This is how 5 is presenting itself to me. And then 6 will be about implementing that change. Some situations probably come up to where it's like, are you going to change? What are you going to do? And I have to go the way I know it to be. Oh, that's what I was going to say. And also in yesterday's video, I have to allow myself to be a silly human. As much as force comes through with these intentions, there will be times where it's like, I may slip up. I may do this. I may do something without realizing that that's what I'm not trying to do. That's where grace comes in. And grace has been such a big theme throughout this page as well, because my brain is too harsh on me sometimes. It's so harsh. And like, I mean, if my family was too, like my voices of reason growing up were very harsh on me about like just the expectations I have. Oh, another thing I had last night as well, 4-day was, or was that 4-day? I think that was 3-day. 3 going into 4. My expectations of myself are a bit too high. I tell you, I'm an idealist. I want things to be how I want them to be, never minding the process to get to where it is I want to be. So sometimes I'll expect things of myself, but I'm not even at that point to even be there yet. Like, I'm on my way there, and I'd be like hating on myself a little bit for not being there, but I'm on my way there. And the shit that be happening needs to happen for me to progress there. And so that's really 5-day. Like, I'm really glad I made it through. It was an hour, but shit, I was able to talk uninterrupted and unfiltered, and I'm extremely proud of that. I'm probably gonna go back, watch this video again, make sure and like critique myself. At this point, I'm starting to think that's my love language. I'm just joking. And then I'll post it to YouTube, and whoever watches, just watch it. I'm glad I got through my little points. But yeah, be yourself. Have fun with it. Experiment. And don't forget to enjoy what you're doing. And if you're not enjoying what you're doing, you probably need to reevaluate, because it's probably an unbalance somewhere in your energy. And also, another thing I've noticed with this communication between the outside and the inside, whenever you're imbalanced in here, there will be forces outside of you to come back and balance your ass. And for me, I look at Saturn as that energy, because it's so present in my life. It will just hit me with challenges, blockages, lessons if there's something unbalanced in here. But the moment I understand what is happening and I overcome the lesson, oh, I'm off the hook. And like, the blessings start to flow in. So yeah, I'm gonna end that off here, transition to my next task, and y'all have a good day.